Hello, hello there, my crafty friends. It's Candy here from sweetstamper.com, and I'm so happy to be with you here today for the third in my series of 4 free online card classes. It's been fun, and I'm just over halfway now today with my card projects. So each of my free online classes, I'm featuring the same 4 stamp sets. So I'll do 1 card with each of 4 stamp sets. And I'm using the same stamp sets each time. And my goal with that is to give you a lot of inspiration and a lot of, I guess, instruction and ideas for 4 particular stamp sets. Of course, you could substitute other sets. Hey, Laura, I'm glad you're here with me today. But this way, you kind of have some great ideas for your stamp set. And I find that sometimes people buy a stamp set, me included, and then it's like, I've got a great idea, and then I'm kind of stuck after that. So I'm glad to see Barb and Iris joining me today. So I chose 3 stamp sets from the mini catalog, and then 1 from our celebration. And so I've got a lot to do because I keep this class to an hour or a little under. And so I need to get busy with stamping. So I'm going to bring the camera down and we're going to get started on 4 awesome cards today. Whoopsie. Well, let's see. Okay, there we go. Now, let me make sure that you can see what I'm seeing. And make sure I'm in camera. So these are the 4 stamp sets that I'm using with each of my online classes. And the classes are free. I'm doing them right here. And, oh, I'm on the wrong. I'm doing them right here online. And then I download this to YouTube. So if you missed it here in the live session, you can see the replay either on Facebook or you can see it on YouTube. And if you want to get the card packets for these projects, you can get those for free. So let me show you how you can do that. These are the 3 stamp sets from the mini catalog, and this is the one from Celebration. So here are the what-fors. And that helps you understand exactly how you can earn the card kits for free. So if you would like to get the card kits that I'm going to be showing today, the card kits for the cards I'm going to be showing today, you can use this host code anytime between today and the 13th. That's Sunday. So I close this out on Sunday at midnight. If you have a $35 order, you get card packets for each of the 4 cards by mail, and then you're going to get the PDF tutorials by email. And then if you bump your order up to $50, you get the card packets, and you get the PDF tutorials. You also get an embellishment from me, and then you also, of course, because it's Celebration, you get a free Celebration item. So it's good to see Gail here watching from Tennessee, and Cynthia here. So let me show you. We're going to do our first stamp set today. We're going to be using Sentimental Swirls. And let me just show you where we've already gone. This was week 1. This was session 1, I should say, card class number 1. And this was card class number 2. So what are we going to do today? Well, let me show you. We are going to start with something that may have bypassed you in the catalog. So this is a set of Memories of More cards and envelopes in our annual catalog. So this is how they come. They come in these beautiful 4x6 envelopes. Look at that flap. Already has all that beautiful paper. This is part of the beautifully penned suite. And then you have these beautiful card bases already pre-scored and ready to go. So these are great for quick cards. They're great for new stampers. This is already patterned, beautiful with that watercolor look. So that is what I'm starting with. And then I'm going to use my piercing mat because I am going to be using this photopolymer stamp. I've already got my stamps mounted and ready to go. So let's just get this card packet. This is how your packet comes to you. except I can't send you any stamped images. So if you see any stamped images in my little packet, that's just what I was doing to prep. But I will give you all the cut pieces. So let's start, actually. Here we go. Let's start with a piece of 4.5 by 3.25 basic white. Now I'm going to be using 3 different stamp pads. Whoopsie. So I'm going to start with Cinnamon Cider. And Cinnamon Cider is one of the colors. I'll just show you. This is how I'm deriving my color palette, right from this beautiful envelope flap. So one of the, probably the most gorgeous stamp in this stamp set, this is Sentimental Swirls, is this great big giant swirl. What I haven't done yet with this, but I might do on my last card class with this, my last online card class with this, is I think this would be beautiful if you were to heat emboss this. So I haven't done that yet, but that's on my list of things I would like to do. So there is my Cinnamon Cider Swirl. Isn't it lovely? And then I'm going to take one of the small flower images. Now, one of the things you may not realize is that this stamp set coordinates with 2 different punches. One of these sets of flowers coordinates with the little flower from the strawberry punch. The other flower coordinates with the, what's it called? It's this one here, the Flowers and Leaves punch. So the larger stamp, or actually this one, the smaller one, that is also interesting stamp set that coordinates with 2 different punches. So that's just a little FYI. I'm actually not going to use a punch on this one. This is going to be a simple stamping card. It's going to be stamped ink and paper, and I think you're going to love it. So let's take this flower in Cinnamon Cider, and I'm going to put one flower, I'm going to put one right up here by that swirl. And then I'm going to take another one and I'm going to bring it down here by this swirl. And then I'm going to take another one and I'm going to attach it to this swirl. So I'm building my little scene. I think I'm done with my Cinnamon Cider ink. So I'll put that one away. Now I'm going to add some leaves. I'm using Garden Green ink and this sweet little leaf stamp. So I'm just going to add a couple of leaves. I'm going to go one here. And I'm going to add one here. And then I'm going to add one more up here. Aren't those sweet? See how you can just build this into so many different fun shapes. Now I have a little piece of scrap here and I'm going to, wrong stamp, there's a fill-in stamp for the leaves and I'm inking it up with the same Garden Green, but now I'm going to stamp it off first and then I'm going to stamp it right here. If you like stamps, this Sentimental Swirl stamp set has a lot of stamps in it and it's super fun. This is what got me hooked on stamping, was being able to take images and just play with them and have fun with them. So this is just, if you love stamps, Sentimental Swirls is a stamp set that you're going to want to get. Now I'm going to come back in and I'm going to fill in my flowers with a little bit of Pale Papaya ink. So now I'm going to ink this guy up like so. And see how that just fills them right in? So quick and easy. It's actually quicker than using a marker, which you could do. But, you know, I'm a quick and easy girl. So that is my sweet little image. Now, before I put all my ink pads away, I forgot I need one more thing with my Cinnamon Cider. I have just a small piece of 1 by 1 7/8. It's almost 2, but I cut it down just a little bit because I'm doing birthday cards. This is a series of birthday card classes. There are some other awesome images in Sentimental Swirls, but I'm doing all birthday because that's what I need the most of for my stash right now. And I figured here at the beginning of the year, you might be in the same position. So now my stamping is done and I'm ready to assemble. So once again, this basic white is 4.5 by 3 1/4. And I'm going to mat it onto Bermuda Bay at 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. Let me grab my adhesive. I'm going to use my seal adhesive. This is, well, you know, I like to say it's my favorite. They're all my favorite. I use them all, but the thing I love about seal is it's so quick. Now, you know, you do have to be pretty careful when you mount because then, you know, you don't want to have this, if it's crooked, you don't have a lot of time to rectify your error. So, you know, you have to be aware of that. Now, I'm just going to stick this directly down to my card base. Now, I did want to show you, just because when I was playing around with this design, I did use the punch. I decided not to use it for my actual card, but I wanted to show you what they look like. So here they are stamped and punched. So if I wanted to add some of these and pop them up on dimensionals, I could do that very easily. So here is my happy birthday. I'm just going to pop it up on dimensionals right there. I mean, this is stamped ink and paper, people. It is super quick, super easy. I love these card bases and envelopes because they make really quick work of some really beautiful cards. I mean, I didn't add any designer paper because really my Memories and More card and envelope pack has already done that for me. And did I tell you that you get 10 of these, 10 of the cards and 10 of the envelopes for $10? Actually, you know what? Let me see. I might be telling you wrong. No, you get 20 of these for $10. And it's 50 cents for a card and envelope. It's incredible to have that much beautiful design on your card and envelope ready to go. Now I am going to add one finishing touch, and that is I'm going to add some of these champagne rhinestones. They are a real favorite of mine. You know, I love the oranges. Everything kind of orangey, peachy, I love. And these also will add a little bit of almost kind of an antique look to things because they are champagne. And so they're aptly named champagne rhinestones because they just have that little bit of, whoopsie, where'd it go? There it is. So quick, easy, but I think just really sweet with the card and envelope. So that is card number 1. And that is using a Memories and More, the hand-penned Memories and More cards and envelopes, and using Sentimental Swirls, sorry, there's those are plural, because you get a lot of swirls in this stamp set. Okay, moving along to Artfully Layered is our second stamp set. Actually, it's a bundle, and the first time I showcased this, I used the whole bundle. I used the dies, the stamps, everything. When I showcased it last time, we did more of a simple card. And I did use a few of the dies, but I mainly used the Designer Series paper. I actually gave this exact card to my son. My son's birthday was last week, and he loves all things tropical. It was the perfect fit. So I love the kind of gender-neutral features of this suite of products. So today we're going to go super simple, and once again I'm going to pull in my thick basic white cardstock, and this is 11 by 4 1/4, and I have scored it at 5 1/2. Now remember, you get your card packets for free when you place an order with my host code. So let me just keep that up there to remind you. Now what I'm going to do first is I'm going to use Just Jade. This is one of our in colors that we get for another whole year. And I like this kind of seed looking, I think these are seeds. That's what I'm calling them anyway. I like these kind of seed looking stamps. So I'm just going to kind of run these across and make a line of them going. And I like to turn, you know, when I'm random stamping, I like to turn it so that you don't get it too matchy-matchy, you know. You want there to be some variety to your randomness because you do want it to look pretty random. There we go. So now I've got this nice little kind of swath of the seeds. Now I'm going to come along here and I'm going to stamp my happiest birthday wishes. And I'm once again using Just Jade ink. And this time I'm using a piece of, let me grab my measurements for you. This is a piece of mint macaron cardstock, and it is 4 by 1.5. Now, when I stamp this on here, you're going to think, oh, that's your cardstock is way too big, Candy. But there is method in my madness. Yes, I will show you the host code again. Here we go. Let me just show you that while it is HDHVETQF. So it's all letters this time. Sometimes it's letters and numbers. This time it is all letters. Now, let's see here. Where am I? Okay. So let's continue to build this card. I'm going to use some fun things here. I have done a piece of, I was kind of playing around with different card designer series paper. I'm going to use this one. Both of these are from the Wood in Good Taste pack. This is a die from the Artfully Layered, and I have already run it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss, my Big Boss, but I'm going to, I actually ran it through with a piece of adhesive sheet. And that is going to make this process really quick and easy. These adhesive sheets, you know, they might just kind of walk past you, as it were, in the annual catalog. They're really inexpensive and they last you a long time. But they make whatever you have run through your die cutting machine, you put this on the back of your cardstock and it makes it into a big sticker. So this whole thing is sticky. And that means I don't need to mess with any liquid glue or anything. Woo, it's very sticky. Anything like that. And I'm just going to attach this to a piece of this wood grain designer series paper. And I ran that, this is a 2 1/4 inch circle. Isn't that nifty looking? I like it a lot. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to do what I call controlled tearing. So I'm just going to come across the top here, and this is why I wanted a little bit of extra cardstock. I wanted to be able to give this kind of a rough look. Anytime you're using nature images, that's really a nice look. Now, I've also cut a piece of 4 inch by 1 inch Calypso Coral. I like to give myself a little extra room there because what I'm going to do is I'm going to add seal to the back of this, and then I want to put this that little detail, that little bit of stitching and that little bit of kind of a jagged scallop right there. And then, oh, I didn't get it straight. Let's see if I can, yeah. See, the seal will let me lift just for, you know, the first few seconds. It's still pretty soft. Okay, that's better. Now, I'm going to grab my scissors, or actually, yeah. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut kind of behind there so that I have that nice little have that nice little tag there. So now I'm ready to start building this together. You can kind of see where I'm going. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. But before I do that, there's actually one more little piece I'm going to add there. And that is, I'm going to put this Just Jade ribbon. I really like this ribbon. It has this little bit of gold in it, and it has just the perfect little touch here. Again, I'm creating a card that's very gender neutral. I can use this for the guys in my life or for the girls in my life. My husband is originally from South Florida, and he still has family there. They tend to love all things tropical, and so this would make a perfect card for his sister. It would also make a perfect card for any of my nephews or nieces there. So that's ready to go with glue dots. So let's go ahead and assemble. So I find the easiest thing to do is to go ahead. Oh, I didn't put these on. Let's put the dimensionals on first. And I'm using the kind of the little edges, which are perfectly good, and really, you don't want to throw those away. They're great. So I'm going to put this kind of in the center here and down in the bottom third. Happiest birthday wishes. Now, I've done that because now I can just tuck this in. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of adhesive on the back of my circle with that cool tropical leaf. That's given me some dye and a little bit of circle, and I've got that little bit of wood grain. Now I've already got my glue dots on here, and now I can just slide this right underneath this little edge. Let me get it where it's not going to catch. There we go. I just want it to go right underneath there. Come on, baby. Did I get that? Here we go. The other thing I really like about this ribbon is it frays beautifully on the end. So now I'm just going to press that in and see how that frays ever so nicely. I mean, this is quick and easy. I'm using a die cut here and here, but just a little bit of stamping, and it's super quick and easy, and I think it has a real modern look with this white background. You know, you could change it to a color, and I think get a really similar look. That little bit of wood grain behind there, that little bit of wood grain designer series paper really makes a difference. So that is Artfully Layered, and that is the third in my series of cards for Artfully Layered. Oh, I forgot one more thing. I was going to add a couple of these little guys. These are the brushed metallic dots. These were introduced in our holiday catalog, but they carried over. So we still have these, and I am going to grab, I think I'm going to actually grab the gold ones because I think they're going to kind of brighten this up a little bit. So I'm going to add one there and one down here, and then one more, the power of 3. And that gives just a little bit of shine, a little bit of polish, a little bit of finish to my card. Okay, so now we are ready to move on to our third stamp set, which is For the Record. And this is where I went the first time I showcased this. And this is where I went last time. So this was kind of, this could be a Valentine easily, but I'm doing these all as birthday cards. So For the Record, you're my favorite song, happy birthday. And again, you're awesome and happy birthday. Did some fancy footwork on the inside there. So today we're going in a totally different direction, and we are going to bring in Polished Pink, one of our in colors, and we are going to put a little piece of this beautiful marvelous paper, Simply Marvelous. This is another free option you can get with a $50 order. So if you bump your order up to $50, you can get this paper for free, and it has some great colors. You have one side of the marble is kind of a soft marble look. The other side has a lot stronger color as well as pattern. So let me get my stamps out and let's build a card. I'm using a 5 1/4 by 4-inch piece of Designer Series paper. I'm going to put that right here on my card front. And this marble paper is Blushing Bride. It goes really nicely with this polished pink. So this is bright pink, and I'm making this very, very feminine. So my first card could have been a Valentine or a birthday card for a man or a woman. The second one that I did in this series was kind of a patriotic look. Definitely could go for a man or a woman. This one is definitely, I'm thinking, teen girls. So we're going to bring in one of these vinyl records. But first we're going to do this, kind of a cool stamp. It's almost like a piece of ribbon. It's almost like stamped ribbon that we're doing right across there. And then once that is lifted, through the magic of live TV, I have heat embossed this with the black embossing powder to make it shiny and look like a true vinyl record. Now, when you get your card packet, I can't stamp that for you and heat emboss it. So you'll get a piece of smoky slate like this. And let me just show you. The one I did last week, I did on white, and this time I did it on smoky slate. So you get very different looks. This one is just ink. This one is heat embossed, so you can see the difference that it makes. So I am going to go ahead and stick this flat down. Grab my seal. See how quick that is. And that, you know, Candy loves quick. So that is going to go right in the center. Now, I am using these. This is another must-have. If you don't have these yet, they need to go on your wish list. They're only $22, and look at the dies you get. These are perfect for scrapbooking. They're perfect for your cards, so you can do a lot with them. And I have a polished pink one that I have already run through my Big Boss machine, and I am going to ink up You're My Favorite Song. So this is going to go right here, and this is going to be popped up on dimensionals right over the center of my vinyl record, like so. So let me grab a couple of dimensionals here, and we are almost done. I mean, this is really, really quick. But I think the polished pink, it's such a girly color. So I'm thinking this would be really cute for a preteen girl or a teen girl. So You're My Favorite Song. And of course, again, you can there's different greetings in this stamp set for the record. Of course, you probably also have some greetings of your own, either through your Paper Pumpkin subscription. Speaking of, today's the last day you can get that for the March kit, which is super cute. It's all safari images. And Lisa, I'm glad you are here, and catching the replay is a good thing. We are on card number 3. So this is the black and white gingham ribbon. And again, this was introduced in our holiday catalog and has carried over, thankfully, because it is just the ticket. Look what happens when I add that. I mean, is that cute or what? I think it's really special. Let me find my glue dots right here. And then what I wanted to add a little embellishment here, but I didn't want to detract from anything because I really think this is pretty perfect just the way it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a single one of these Opal Rounds. The Opal Rounds, you get a package of these when you take my Daffodil card class this month. And what I like about them is they really pick up the pinks in this Designer Series paper. So watch what I mean. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, last but not least, we're going to take a piece of 5 1/4 by 4-inch white. And I have the smaller, I have the smaller tag, and I'm gonna put my happy birthday on that. Is that swift or what? Before I do that, I did run the little reinforcement. I ran that through my Big Boss, and I used, again, that adhesive sheet, because then this little tiny thing, I do not want to have to put adhesive on this. So what I've done is I've used my adhesive sheet. See what I mean by tiny? Could almost use some tweezers on this little guy. So that is going to go right there. Isn't that cute? And I'm just going to stamp my happy birthday on there in basic black, or tuxedo black, I should say. And my black ink pad is right here. And you know, one of the things I love to do on the inside of cards is to use a little die or a punch. For one thing, you know, if you're like me and you end up sometimes getting your greeting crooked, it saves you, because then you haven't messed up the whole inside. Now, I purposely stamped that crooked, and I'm going to mount it crooked as well, because I think it's kind of cute that way. So there is my happy birthday to go on the inside of my For the Record flirty card with that polished pink. Super fun, super cute. I can angle that, close that lid, and put this 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece into the inside of my card. And then look how cute. This is those tailored tag dies. And I will say also, this is the largest of the circle dies. So if you're doing the layering circle dies, that is the largest one. And I'll have that information on the tutorial. So if you get the card kits and you get the tutorial, you will have that information and the measurements. I do try to put a lot of tips and tricks into my tutorials because I figure I've already done this, and I want to steer you in the right direction and kind of head off any errors you might encounter. Okay, last card for today's online card class. And this time we are using Friendly Hello, which is a free stamp set with, where did I put the stamp set? Free stamp set during celebration. Let me show you. Here's my host code information again. Let me see if I can track down the stamp set. Where did I put the stamps? Oh, are they right in front of me? Yes, they are. Okay, the stamps are here. Don't know where the stamp set is at the moment, but that's okay. Let me show you where we went for week 1 and week 2, or session 1 and session 2. This is session 1 here. This was a little pocket card. And then this was session 2. You can tell I really like the bird in this stamp set, but I'm going away from the bird today because I want to show you the versatility of the stamp set. It's one of the things I really endeavor to do. I just found the stamps when I'm teaching my classes. So this is the stamp set. It actually does come with the Designer Series paper. So this is free with a $100 order. And it's a stellar stamp set. You're going to love it. Once again, I'm doing all birthday. So let's come up with another birthday card idea. And this time we're going to use the flowers. So I'm going with kind of a soft and springy color palette. So let me show you where we're going to start. This is an 8.5 by 5.5 card base. And I'm actually got a 5 by 4 1/4 piece. This is soft seafoam. I'm going to add this as well, and it's soft seafoam. And this has been run through with the new Hive embossing folder. So a lot of times with these, I put them down with the liquid glue, but if the images are really close together, I could still get away with using my seal. So let's pop that right on there, and now I've got all that nice texture. It's going to give, I'm going to cover a lot of it, but I'm going to have that nice texture all around the outside. So I do once again need my little foam mat, and I'm going to use my Tuxedo black ink. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my greeting, my birthday greeting, move this out of the way, down in the bottom corner. And then I'm going to stamp the flowers, and then I'm going to fill in with the leaves. So I like this flower stamp because they've given you 2 flowers already arranged together. So I see Kathy has come on late as well. I love it that you guys are still catching me. And of course, the beauty of the Facebook Live is that I can, this is all recorded, so you can watch it at your leisure. There's my flowers. Now I'm going to come back to these flowers, and I'm going to fill them in with some color using my blends. And I got that flower a little bit close to my greeting, but I think it's going to be okay. Now I'm going to come in with this beautiful leaf image. Let me show you. This is the Hives 3D embossing folder. Really pretty. These are the blends I'm going to use. And before I do that, because I'm using soft seafoam on my card base, I'm going to come in with some soft seafoam leaves, just to put a little greenery in here. Let's go here, and let's go here, and we'll put another little bit right about like so. Isn't that pretty? These are beautiful, beautiful stamps. So now I am ready to do a little bit of coloring, and it is really just a little bit on these flowers. So I'm going to put the centers, I'm going to color with my dark Daffodil Delight. Great color for the center of your flowers. And then I'm going to put a little bit of the dark Fresh Freesia along the outside of my petals so that there's a nice contrast between the edge of my flowers and the basic white cardstock. So, you know, sometimes in nature, the outside of a flower is darker and sometimes the inside is darker. So I'm making the inside lighter on these flowers, and the outside is going to be darker. And I do find that when you're coloring images this small, you want to use this little fine tip on your Stamp and Blends marker. And again, this is Fresh Freesia. This basic white cardstock is 3 3/4 by 2 1/2. So if you're watching and taking notes, you can write that down. Again, if you get a card packet, you get the full PDF tutorials. I'm going to add just a little bit of dark, kind of one little spread across there, and then I'm going to fill these in with the light Fresh Freesia. Fresh Freesia is a beautiful in color. It's kind of a pinky purple, and it goes with a lot of our purples. It has a little bit of a chameleon effect because it goes really nicely with our pinky purples like Rich Razzleberry, but you're going to see I'm going to pair it with Gorgeous Grape, which is more of a bluey purple, and it looks equally stunning. Now I am going to come along here and add a little bit of Wink of Stella on all of my flower petals. And that is going to give just a beautiful little shine. Sometimes you have to get it in just the right light so you can see where you're actually getting your shine. Make sure that your brush is transferring that beautiful glitter all the way there. Now I'm going to pop that over like so. And now I'm ready to add my layers. So this is going to be layered on here. This is my fresh freesia. Now this fresh freesia was 4.5, and actually 4 3/4 by 4, and then I ran it through with a scallop contour dies. And I'm going to mount it directly to a piece of gorgeous grape that is 4 3/4 by 3.5. Now this, look at that, isn't that gorgeous? Aren't those colors just stunning together? I absolutely love them. I really, really love these colors together. So once again, this is soft sea foam, gorgeous grape, and fresh freesia. Beautiful, beautiful combination, color combo. Let me grab that. And this is going to be kind of, this is kind of double framed, and then I'm going to pop the frame up on dimensionals, which are right here, but I'm going to need to cut some more so I can finish these. And my scissors probably got put into a basket somewhere. Woohoo! I'm doing good. 45 minutes and I'm on card number 4. You know, this has been an experiment for me. I've been doing live card classes almost since I started as a demonstrator 14 years ago, and I thought, well, I do a single live in-person card class once a month now. I stopped for, you know, much of the time during the height of the pandemic, and then, you know, there were people who were wanting to get together to stamp. So I do that at my church, and that way there's a lot of room for people to spread out if they would like to. And if they want to huddle up with their friends, they can. And so I thought, well, let me do an online class. And then people who don't live near me or people who don't want to gather in person right now, they can still enjoy one of my card classes. So that was kind of the method in my madness with this, and kind of arming you with lots of ideas for a particular set of stamps. And I kind of went after stamp sets that might have not caught your eye, or maybe they didn't just automatically pop out where you thought, I think I know exactly what I'm going to do with that. Now I'm using the copper ones. I'm again using these brushed metallic dots. I used these also on my kind of masculine card. But look how these copper dots, how they pick up the purple. Really pretty. Now I've got one more little finishing touch. And of course, all these little doodads are in your card kit when you get it in the mail. I know that Gail said that these card kits were really helping her because she has a lot of birthdays in February. And so having card kits cut and ready for you in the mail has been a real help. I know those of us who are grandmothers, I think that For the Record stamp set is really cute for our grandkids because, you know, vinyl records have made a real comeback, and they're all cool again. And then when we're making cards for our over 50, our boomer generation, then it's a retro. So look at that gorgeous grape. This is gorgeous grape sheer ribbon. So this is in our annual catalog, and I'm just going to put a little ribbon right there. And that is going to be the final finishing touch on my, what's it called? Friendly Hello card. So let me grab this. I know it's getting close to dinner time here in San Antonio. I'm in Central Time. So I know that I have some people in my time zone, some people who are an hour ahead of me, some people who are an hour or two behind me, and then many people who are going to watch the replay. We always get a lot more people on the replay than on the actual live. So there we go, folks. Friendly hello. And let me see if I can, yeah, here we go. Here are the first two that I did. You can see I really like doing it with the fresh freesia, because this is the card that I showcased on class number 2. This is from class number 1. So there's 3 great ideas on using Friendly Hello. And again, Method in My Madness was that this bundle comes with the gorgeous designer series paper. I love the paper. But at some point, the paper will run out and you'll still have the stamps. So this shows you how you can use the stamps when you don't have the designer series paper. So Barb, I'm glad you like these. I'm hoping that you're super inspired. Let me see if I can grab. This was card number 1. Tell me maybe what your favorite is from today's showcase. There's card number 4. Let me grab the others. There's card number 3. I was doing all kind of horizontal cards today. And I usually do a lot in portrait mode. And then there's card number 1, 2, 3, and 4 for today's demonstration. And I hope that that gives you lots and lots of creative inspiration, fun products, fun ideas, gave you dimensions. So if you didn't catch the dimensions, you know, just rewind, because this is all recorded, and that allows you to just rewind and hear those dimensions again. And I will have the tutorials for any of you who place your host code orders. Let me grab that information again. So Iris, you like them all. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I have to say, you know, they're really different. And that was part of my goal with this, was to give you really different ideas that would be applicable for all kinds of different people in your life, because most of us give more birthday cards than anything else. And so, you know, for the young and the young at heart, because those of us who are older and remember vinyl records, this causes us to kind of go down memory lane. This is just a really sweet card, this Sentimental Swirls. This is a little bit more of a modern vibe with the tropical look. And then this is just very classic, I think. So, okay, so Gail likes them all as well, no clear favorites. Once again, before I sign off, here is your information. Your host code is HDHVETQF. This host code will run through the end of the weekend, so through Sunday, the 13th of February. I thought about extending all the way till Monday because it's Valentine's Day, but I didn't want to confuse people, because each time I've been doing these, I run the class on Thursday and I do the host code through Sunday. So trying to stay consistent. So if you have an order of $35 or more, you will get card packets for all 4 of the cards shown today. And that includes everything, all the little doodads. And then you'll also get the tutorials by email. So the cards will come snail mail, the tutorials come email. And then if you bump your order up to $50, of course, then you get a celebration item, and I also add in a free embellishment. So that is it for today. I have lots left to do in my day, and dinner to sort out. So I don't know what's for dinner at your house tonight. I'm still deciding. I have a couple of options in my fridge. So we shall see. And oh, Gail is here too. We have 2 Gails, both spelled G-A-Y-L-E on today. So thank you again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you're watching through YouTube, I would love for you to give me a thumbs up and to subscribe to my channel. And any comments, any feedback, I love to hear your favorites. I love to hear if there's something that was a surprise to you, something that maybe you hadn't seen before. Oh, Gail, you love homemade vegetable soup. You know, I do too. It's one of my absolute favorites. I made vegetable soup last week, and I'm actually in the process of doing some beef vegetable soup for tomorrow. So that is on the docket. I've been making some, actually it was beef vegetable soup last week as well. So, and then it tasted so good, I thought, I think I want some more. So I've got some proper beef bones, and I'm gonna make proper beef stock first. My son got me a pressure cooker for my Christmas, and I've been really enjoying using it. I had one like 30 years ago, and then when we were living in England, and then we came back and it got, I think the rubber gasket broke, and I just couldn't find a replacement. And but you know, Instant Pots that are kind of all the rage with the young people, it's really, I think, just the new version of a pressure cooker. But I'm used to a pressure cooker. I knew how to use a pressure cooker. But it makes very quick work of bone broth, which is stock. It's what we always called stock. But you know, all the young people, again, or the new generation, call it bone broth. It's what we all grew up on. It's what our grandparents used, you know, because you were using every single part of that, animal. So yay, we're both enjoying vegetable soup. I love it. Okay, well, I could talk all day about cooking and about healthy eating, but I will love you and leave you for today. Thank you again for tuning in. Take care, and God bless.